I started playing some gigs over in Italy in 2023. It was like my first trip overseas. This company had reached out and was like, "Oh, well, want to loan you a rig for this run." I was like, "Cool," you know.
Won't say no.
Beats playing like a beat old backline amp or something. So, and they're a company called Red 7, and I tried one of their, I tried all of their amps. I went to their factory and tried a bunch of stuff and found one that I liked, and I used that for the trip. And we just
was that one the Leviathan?
Yeah.
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 But you were just using a single channel,
I was using the first channel.
Cool.
Yeah, and that kind of became, after that run of shows, they basically said, "Hey, we'd like to make you like a signature model amp," which is bananas. I'm like, me? Are you sure? But they were keen on the idea. So basically just kind of, went from there, and we used the Leviathan as our kind of inspiration. And did something a little bit different with it, but it's just a cool, great sounding kind of. It's not a traditional pedal platform in the sense that it's a really clean, like super clean amp. Like it's got some, it's got a fair amount of gain in it if you want it. But it's a good pedal platform in the sense that it has a really clean power amp that doesn't distort, so the effects loop sounds friggin' great. So your reverbs and delays and everything sound really, really good in the loop. So it's a good platform in that sense. And the cool thing about it is I could play a gig with it without any other gain pedals if I wanted to.
That's awesome.
Because
I think as well, which is hard to communicate over this medium, is the absolute, even through a 2x12, just the thump out of it. It's got that almost. Looking at it, anytime I see like a single channel amp head like that, I just think like 2203.
Sure.
That's the perfect blues rock metal amp, because it'll give you most of what you want, and then you can add spice to it. But it's almost got like a high watt kind of thing, I think, because the power amp's so clean. And true, that's more the sort of thing. It's not sagging and distorting.
No, it's not, and it's honest, which can be great, and also if you're not having a good night, it can be bad too. But I'd prefer that. Like I don't really like things that get spongy and saggy. Like, because when you need that extra dynamic, I'm one of these idiots who it's almost like a sport to me. It's like, how far can I take this solo? And if you've got an amp that's got a kind of sag point or a point where it stops giving what you're putting in, it feels like it puts a bit of a ceiling on that, and you can't go to. Whereas with this thing, I never feel inhibited by headroom. It's like always got more, which is great.
The cool thing as well from playing it is when it cleans up, it's not getting super. There's that bass line where people talk about headroom all the time, about how loud you can go. But this almost has a bottom line thing on there. No matter how much you clean up, you're still getting that raw power out of the power amp. It's an interesting, when you're cranking, So it is, there's a dynamic swing, but it's almost...
It doesn't get anemic.
It doesn't get anemic, that's it.
Yeah, because some amps you have to, especially when it's more of a plexi-voiced amp or something, they're so dependent on the phase inverter being distorted. So when you've got an amp like this that's drawing all of its kind of drive from the preamp stage, the power amp becomes less important, because I think the thing that people most associate with like a Marshall power amp overdriving is actually the phase inverter tube, more than anything else.
Just getting pummeled.
Yeah. So in an amp like this where the phase inverter is not getting thrashed as much, the power amp is just kind of fairly neutral. Like, obviously there's more vibe when you turn up, but I think that's more to do with the feedback loop of the guitar and the volume than it is to do with the actual amp.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do some more playing and then you clean that Strat up, I think that's probably a good example.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's just mics on the cab, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Voiced for the head?
Yeah, it is. It's they're Fane F70s. Because we were looking for a sound that was just, everyone's using the same speakers these days, basically. You know, everyone's got Creambacks or V30s or Greenback reissues. I mean, obviously Greenback reissues were never going to work unless I was using 412s, so they were out. Creambacks I find to be a little bit dark, and V30s have got that kind of spiky thing, which is great for being heard, but sometimes, especially with an amp that's as percussive and dynamic as this one, it's probably too much. It's too much attack.
And for a blues rock trio, it's different to playing in like a 5-piece metalcore.
Yeah, oh yeah. If you were playing, a Leviathan, doing metal stuff, then V30s would be great. So the cool thing about the F70s is, to me, they're a little bit like a V30, but without that kind of mid spike. They're pretty neutral in that kind of frequency kind of range. So yeah, whoops, sorry, old Jack.
Only the best.
Only the best. I really need to change that out, but it's what you get with them. Don't ask.
It's pretty awesome though, man. For Derrosville, Adelaide. With a signature amp, with the croc skin, and the other thing is the amp's so nicely put together too, and 100-watt KT88, it's pretty monstrous. It's pretty good to play through.
I love the dichotomy of things, having a signature amp that you might not be able to afford.
This is that's the unspoken truth of signature gear, though. I think is sort of everyone. That's really the dream where you're like, yes, if I ever got the chance to have a signature piece of gear, I'd love it to be accessible. But, I'm not The Edge or Joe Bonamassa. I don't have that concern. I just want a nice thing. Yeah,
well, that's the thing is we've made it accessible within reason, but at the end of the day, it's a custom amp coming from Italy. It's never going to be cheap. We're not talking about like,
there's a difference between cheap and affordable. Because if you buy something that's high quality and you use it for 30 years,
well, yeah,
and it's well priced, that's affordable, right?
What's that buy once thing?
Buy once, cry once.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm kind of learning that lesson, especially with amps. Amps and pedals, I like to have good stuff that I know is reliable. Guitars, well, I've got a few freaks here at the moment. But
so tell us about that one.
This is an old profile Strat from the 80s, a Japanese, which are fairly well regarded as MIJ kind of, reissues. And the neck had no frets left on it when I got it, which I kind of thought about refretting it. But then when I was at NAMM this year, at the end of the show, there was a booth directly across from us, and they had all these like guitars that they were displaying, but they also had parts as well from their factory. And there was this like roasted flame maple neck that I'd been looking at the whole weekend. I was like, that actually looks pretty good. And then I checked it out, and I'm like, the fretwork is actually amazing on this thing. And at the end of the NAMM show, no one sells at the NAMM show, but they do. Like, so I ended up just going over there and being like, how much for the flame maple neck? And then, you know, they sold it to me for peanuts. And I basically put it on this guitar, didn't level the frets, did nothing, just set the intonation and the action, and it's been great.
And you were saying ceramic pickups as well?
Yeah, the stock pickups in these were ceramic magnet. Like, they're not Alnico anything. They're just ceramic magnet. But I think it goes to show the magnet is maybe not the most important part of the pickup. I think the quality of the wire and the way they've been wound is almost more important than the magnet material. Because these sound great. Like, they don't sound like the ceramic pickups that came in my Legend Strat. You know, these sound legit, you know?
Yeah. And also, I mean, you've got a very interesting working theory with the middle pickup, right?
Yeah, well, it's a non-reverse wound middle pickup. So obviously you get some noise in that position instead of it hum cancelling, but I actually think it sounds slightly different. I think there's on Strats that have a reverse wound middle pickup, the position 2 and 4 are kind of extra scooped, whereas this, it doesn't seem to lose as much mid-range.
It sounds like you've kicked in a little filter or a wah or something, rather than it totally changing the.
But it maintains that low mid thickness. That I don't think I think it gets cancelled out a little bit. I don't know. I'm not an electronics guy. You know, my mates who designed this amp are probably looking at this going, "You've got no idea."
Stop talking.
Yeah, stop talking. You don't know what you're talking. But to me, it might be.
Well, on that guitar, it sounds amazing.
On this guitar, it sounds really good. So, yeah, it's super cool.
I want to hear that amp with the Greco.
Oh, yeah.
This is a...
Yeah, I found this in a shop in Geelong, AB Instruments. They got a bunch of cool second-hand stuff, and I played it, and it was the vibiest guitar in the shop. And then I went to America and did some other stuff and kind of forgot about... Well, I didn't completely forget about it, but when I got back, I was like, I wonder if that's still in their shop. And it was, and I was like, all right, I'm going to order it. And, yeah, it's killer. Like, it's a vibe. Like, I think it's almost just as good as my Gold Top in its own way. It's just different, you know. It's super cool. It sounds great. I'm pretty sure there's stock pickups.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's such a vibe. And I guess it's sort of like a 60s RI neck profile.
Yeah, it's kind of skinnier down near the nut, but then it kind of fills out. It's cool. Like, it's definitely a shreddier neck than the Gold Top. The Gold Top's a bit of a baseball bat, but yeah, it's cool. It's super light because it's kind of hollow, but it's really good. I bought it because I didn't want to fly with my Gold Top because it's, you know, it's a valuable guitar and it's nice. And I just couldn't live with myself being the guy that broke it. But now I'm starting to like this a lot, and I'm like, oh man.
This is the mission creep. You're like, cool, I'll get a backup for my main guitar. Oh, I really like the backup. I need a backup for the backup.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get an Epiphone or something because I don't want to fly with this thing anymore.
Fang it on the neck pickup because I really like that neck pickup.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
just what you want out of it's not too tubby. It's got the nice open high mids and high end, and it's comfy to play.
Yeah, it's a crazily good guitar for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think guitars are there's that kind of eternal discussion of where do you put your money? Do you put it in your amp or your guitar? And I think amp is, or if you're using a digital thing, I think you're better off putting your money into that, because, there are some good budget amps around, but I don't know, I feel like there's more options for guitars that are, especially on the secondhand market, Japanese made stuff. It's creeping up in value.
Yeah.
But there's still such good buys. Like if you find something like this, I mean, this was $1,200, and
it's Australian dollars, which is about,
which is
3 magic beans in the US at the moment.
It's about $20 over there. It's one meal at Outback Steakhouse, which is not very Australian.
It's not very Australian. Neither is Foster's.
No.
Just the full disclaimer. The Vegemite is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. One question while I got you. Your approach to playing when you're doing a gig, when you're absolutely sending in the moment, are you more of there's definitely a school of, I think, blues rock, the modern blues rock player where I think it's vocabulary. It's almost become a little bit like the approach fusion players or jazz players will take, where you sort of have a really wide vocabulary and you're like improvising within that. Or are you more just like bite your lip, go for it, and you're searching for the edge case scenario where something new might pop out? Like you're an explorer.
I think I'm a bit more of an explorer, not in terms of, I mean, I'm fairly simple in terms of what I'm doing harmonically a lot of the time. I don't have a lot of that kind of 2/5 jazzy stuff in my arsenal. But in terms of phrasing, I'm always searching, because you can do so much with so little rhythmically and pattern-wise. That's where I'm always experimenting.
Because you can play drums as well, right?
Yeah, I play a bit of kit.
Yeah.
But for me, I think of a guitar solo as almost more as a drum solo with notes. Like I'm trying to think of, it's like, what would Steve Gadd play?
Right.
It's like, because you like watch clips of Gadd, like there's this cool video of him at the Buddy Rich Memorial with Vinny Colaiuta and Dave Weckl. And Dave Weckl and Vinny are just going off, like playing just crazy shit, like single stroke rolls between their like hand and foot, like. And then Gadd comes in and goes, brah, 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 like, and he just fucking like nails you to the back wall. It's amazing. And that's to me what it's all about, is trying to find those phrases that really just do something rhythmically, like primally. So I'm always trying to find, just things that, there's stock notes I'm using. I'm just playing the pentatonic scale most of the time. Sometimes, Dorian mode or, natural minor or whatever. But it's about using those few notes to say something rhythmically with, like... I'm just trying to find something interesting with those notes, instead of just going, playing your stock like, which everyone's done, and it's cool, and there's a place and a time for that, and I still use that stuff, but for me it's more about that exploratory thing where you're trying to find, and I think people feed off of that, like audiences enjoy seeing someone that's looking for something as opposed to someone that's being safe.
Yes, I totally identify with that. I think for me, growing up listening to Gary Moore and Stevie Ray and all these guys who were great blues and rock players, but they were also improvisers live. It's like, that's the searching aspect for it. I think is in some ways that's the point.
Well, it's the
more so than
the danger. It's the excitement. I mean, not like I fluffed a couple of notes then.
Did
like
you?
It doesn't.
It's not about that, right?
No, but it's not. But the thing is it doesn't always work out perfectly, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't need to be seamless. It doesn't need to be pristine. I think there's so much of, especially now with social media and short clips and all that kind of stuff now, there's this kind of emphasis on everything being just perfect. So, you know, the perfect 30-second clip for social media. But I don't know I don't think the thing that I'm trying to do really fits in with that so much. It's the long form. It's the whole journey of the thing that is, for me, really important.
Having said that, well, it's not the perfect 30-second clip because it's an actual full concert. How sort of mind-blowing for you was it, your live concert that you've uploaded to YouTube that's just had 250,000 views for the whole, I mean, independent, Aussie-based, blues rock, self-produced, self-edited the video,
did everything.
Did all of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it opened so many doors overseas and festivals here and all these different things that wouldn't have happened otherwise, you know. So it's been amazing. But it just kind of, to me, it reinforced, because I was in a couple of YouTube cover bands.
Right, that's right.
That are from Adelaide that are famous or infamous, depending on how you feel about it. I don't blame you if you think it's infamous instead of famous. But I kind of got to a point where I was working on these other projects for other people, and they were getting a lot of views and a lot of traction, but I was just playing cover music and it wasn't really creatively fulfilling. So halfway through 2023, I was like, all right, I'm going to go do my first tour, play, you know, some shows interstate, and then the last gig was at the Gov. I'm like, all right, let's film it and record it and I'll put it on YouTube. And that going well was kind of my affirmation. It's like, oh no, this is actually what I'm meant to be doing. You know, seeing that kind of video pretty quickly, you know, it got up over 100K like in a few weeks. Like, it was super fast. So it was like, oh, okay, this is actually what I'm meant to be.
And it's long form original content, right?
Yeah.
It sort of goes to show, I think you can overthink so much of this stuff where...
there's an audience still there, I think. You know, the resurgence of vinyl is another indicator too. It's like, because vinyl is a long form content, you know, you're not going to find one song you want to put on a vinyl and then throw it away and put another one on and then you're not going to Spotify it. You're just going to listen to an album, you know? So I think the fact that people still crave that means there's some hope.
Just a little bit. But it's great. I love seeing it for, you know, for people I like, and I like their music. It's always great to see it successful, but particularly Aussie-based stuff, right? Because, we are so isolated. And
I mean, you're isolated. You're in Perth.
Yeah, I basically live on the moon, but, you know, by choice or by design. And there's just, I feel like the opportunities, especially for our generation, is, I don't know, 30 years ago, if you were an Aussie, and there's so many great players from like the generation before us and great bands who, there just weren't the pathways to get overseas and get their music heard by everybody. So having that, and as you said, having that affirmation of, okay, this is what I should be doing, then you owe it to yourself to go on and sort of, I guess, to the community at large, whatever that means, to be like, oh, I've got the chance to go overseas and do this. And it's not going to maybe be as financially rewarding as doing the corporate cover band a couple of times a month or something like that. But that's why we do it, right? Yeah.
There's not enough money in the world for me to consider going back to doing what I was doing before over this. You know, it's like I'd rather be broke and traveling around playing music that I enjoy, you know, meeting, you know, new people and seeing new places, you know. I played a gig in Estonia last year. Like, I would have never have gone to Estonia. And it was awesome. Like, just the fact that I can play, you know, write some songs and play some, you know, average blues licks over the top and then end up in Estonia is friggin' nuts.
Nothing average about that, bro. It's awesome.
It's so, it blows my mind, really. It's nuts where music can take you. And I feel like I'm still like at the start, so there's so much to go.
Man, well, on that note, play us out. Yeah, what a pleasure. I'll put all the links to everything in the comment section below.
Thank you.
You know, it's been the hang has just begun, but you know, just give us a turbo blast on that thing, man. Yeah, sounds alright, mate.